So let's talk about some fun stuff. Let's kind of rapid fire some of these. I'm sure you've got some fun stories here. True or false? Dusty Rhodes in the locker room, cowboy boots, and not much else.
Yeah, pretty much. Or a T-shirt.
But no pants.
No pants. No. First thing Dream did when he got into a locker room was drop his drawers.
Why does Dusty hate pants so much?
I don't know. Maybe he got chafed or something. But yes, that's a true story. That's pretty much true wherever he was.
Your favorite Dusty rib. Dusty had to have a great sense of humor based on what little we fans know. There has to be a fun Dusty rib. Since nothing else was a rib, Sapphire wasn't a rib, polka dots weren't a rib, there's no such thing as a rib. But Dusty had to have a good sense of humor and rib somebody.
Dusty had a great sense of humor. I don't know. Well, it was a rib on me, but it was just kind of funny to give you an example of Dusty's kind of sense of humor. We were in Cincinnati and Dream and I were traveling together. And Dusty always liked to stay off the beaten path away from everybody else. And we pull up to a hotel, a brand new Hilton hotel at the Cincinnati airport. We pull up, Sapphire and Sherry pull up right behind us. Now, we had no idea where we were staying that night. We were going to go in and see if they had rooms. And they pull up and go, oh, hey, are you guys staying here? And Dusty says, yeah, baby, we're staying here, but they sold out for the night. Y'all need to go to the nice little Fairfield Inn over there, or Hampton Inn down the street. Real nice for y'all. I called in. They got reservations for y'all over there when I saw they didn't have no more rooms over here. And would send the girls on their way so that nobody would stay with us. We go in, all right, and Dream is telling me, Pungahead, let me handle this because I stay here all the time. They know me here. I get us a good rate. We walk in, and now this place is brand spanking new.
He stays here all the time.
He stays there all the time. I get a good rate. Let me handle everything. And we walk in, and the girl says, oh, hey, welcome. We're so happy to have you. This is our first weekend open. And I'm looking at Dream like, stay here all the time, right? I mean, they just built this place. They just opened it a week ago. So we go in, and Dream and I had made plans to go to a movie that afternoon before the show. So we go in, and we go to our separate rooms, and I throw my bags in my room, and I go to Dusty's room, and I knock on the door and walk in, and he's there.
No pants.
No pants. He just has his T-shirt on, sitting on the bed, and he turns the TV on, and on the TV it says, the Cincinnati Airport Hilton welcomes Dusty Rhodes on the TV screen. And he looks, I'm looking at that and I'm like, what the hell? He goes, oh man, he goes, they do that all the time. He goes, I always tell them, they don't need to do that to let everybody know I'm here and all that. I don't like it when they do that. So I'm like, yeah, okay. So I don't even think about it. I'm just thinking it's odd that you turn on the TV and the Hilton is welcoming Dusty Rhodes. Now, you got to go back in time to 1989 when technology wasn't as sophisticated as it is now.
It's a big deal back then.
Yeah. So he decides that he's too tired to go to a movie and he's just going to hang out in the room. So I go back to my room, turn the TV on, and the Cincinnati Airport Hilton welcomes Bruce Prichard. So now I get it. Okay. You check in your room, they program your name, they welcome you on the screen. So I call him, go, hey, you asshole. I said, that's something they do for everybody. He goes, no, Pungahead, what it was is I saw your face when you looked at the TV and thought they had only recognized me. And I called down to the front desk and said, hey, can y'all put Bruce Prichard's name up there on the TV so he don't feel bad?
I love him.
That's the kind of sense of humor he had. And that's, the way that he was. And you could call BS on all of it, and he would look you right in the face and go, no, Pungahead, I did that for you, baby. I didn't want you to feel bad.
So you mentioned a minute ago that you guys rode together. You've got to have a good Dusty Rhodes story.
Well, when Dusty first came in and nobody wanted to ride with him, we did a tour through the Northeast, and Dream and I rode together in my little tiny Honda Prelude. And for those of you who don't know what a Honda Prelude is, it's basically a little 2-seater sports car made by Honda. Small. And Dusty and I picked him up, and we made the Northeast run and so on and so forth. And along this run, it was Dusty's first house show run with the WWF at the time. And I'm telling Dream things like, Dusty, being on our TV, you're going to have more notoriety than you ever dreamed of, pun intended.
Right.
And he would look at me and just be like incredulous. Pongin, I am the second most recognizable athlete in the world. Second only to Muhammad Ali. And I just kind of look at him like going, well, you know what? I'm willing to bet worldwide Hulk Hogan's maybe a little more recognizable than you. And there's probably a few others. And so I knew I from the very first response that he was the second most recognizable athlete in the entire world, second only to Muhammad Ali. I knew that bothered him a little bit. Right. That I would question his notoriety.
Sure.
So I kind of needled him on the whole trip and everything. I said, you got to understand, Dream, you're going out here tonight. They're not going to know who you are. But once you get on our TV and you get that exposure, the audiences are going to get to know you and you'll start getting responses again. But don't expect it at first because they don't know who you are, really. I'm the second most recognizable athlete in the entire world, second only to Muhammad Ali. Now, if you can imagine 4 days in a Honda Prelude of listening to the second most recognizable athlete in the entire world today, second only to Muhammad Ali, I'm like, okay, man, I get it. You're second most recognizable athlete, so on and so forth. So we end up the tour in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and we're coming back, and he's staying in Manhattan, and I lived in Connecticut. So I got to drop him off, and then I'm heading home. So it'd been a long 4 days with Virgil and Pumpkinhead in this tiny little Prelude. And on the way back, I like to drive fast, and I was a little heavy on the little gas there at the time, going through New Jersey on the Jersey Turnpike or whatever it was. And all of a sudden, I see these nice red, white, and blue lights shining behind me.
Womp, womp, womp.
Yes, and some of the fine state troopers from the great state of New Jersey were requesting that I pull my car over. And as I'm doing this, I share with Dusty that there might have been a substance in the trunk of my car that wasn't altogether universally legal at the time. In today's day and age, the substance I had is legal in several states and prescribed by doctors. But at that time, it was kind of frowned upon.
So it was heroin.
Never did heroin. So anyway, but I did inhale. So as we, so I'm like going, okay, be cool, man. Because in Texas, if you go over, like, I think it's 96 or whatever the speed limit is, man, they just take you straight into jail.
Right.
And I know I was going over 100. So we pull over, and I roll the windows down, and this can go one of two ways. Because you're either going to get nice cop or you're going to get asshole cop. Well, the police approached my car, one on each side. I roll both windows down, and the guy comes over, asks for license and registration. I give it all to him, and he asks me a question. He says, do you have any idea how fast you were going? Before anything can come out of my mouth, Dream pipes up with, officer, last time I looked over there, he was doing at least 88 miles an hour. I told him to slow down. Wow. Thanks a lot, buddy. And the cop shines the light in both of our faces and asks that dreaded question. Or no, actually, I take it back. He didn't ask the question yet. So he takes my little thing. He walks back to his car, and they sit back there what seems like forever. the police in the car, they're running my license, doing all this stuff. And I'm praying that they're going to give me a ticket and be on my merry way.
Don't open the trunk.
Don't ask me to get out. Don't open the trunk. Nothing. Because Dream was, had a few beers on the other side of the car as well. So cop comes back, both sides, windows down, shines the light in the car again. And he says, are you guys wrestlers? So here's where the decision comes.
Right.
Do you say yes, and hopefully the guy's a fan and going to give you a break? Or do you say yes and he's not a fan and he hates wrestlers and he just messes with you? Or you say no and you just go on your merry way. Now, I'm completely out of makeup. I've got really long hair. My hair's dry and it's all down, and I don't look anything like that guy on TV, Brother Love. And I answered the question, yes, sir, we are. Hoping that the guy sitting next to me might help me get out of this.
Because
he is the second most recognizable athlete in the world, second only to Muhammad Ali. And the cop looks at us, and he's shining the light right in our face. He says, man, can I ask you a question? He goes, are you Brother Love? And again, do I answer this? Yes, I answer. Because again, I'm an asshole. People hate me. And I go, well, yes, sir. He goes, I knew it. Oh, my God, my captain is the biggest fan. Could I get an autograph? Of course you can. So now I know I got a fan. I do the autograph. I go to pass it over to Dusty. And the guy shines the light over on Dusty and he looks at him. He goes, are you a wrestler too?
Oh, yeah.
And he incredulously looks over that cop and goes, I am the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And the cop on Dusty's side of the window pokes his head in and goes, oh, are you still in that AWA?
Wow.
They let me go with not even a warning. They tell me there's no more cops between here and New York and send me on my way. And there's silence in the car. And as we're driving along and probably about, 2-3 miles, he doesn't say a word. I don't say a word. And finally, I just look over at him. And I say, second most recognizable athlete in the world, second only to Brother Love. And, so don't think I haven't told that story a few times. Especially love telling it in his presence because he would vehemently deny it, baby. No, Dusty was great, man. I loved traveling with Virgil.
Well, man, that was a great story. I can't think of a better way for us to end our Dusty Rhodes story.